Hi, Miguel here, back with another Naruto vlog. Today we're doing volume 11, Impassioned Efforts. Not a whole lot of action in this one, but a lot of training for the upcoming tournaments, and a lot of knowledge that we need going into it. A lot of knowledge that about the nine-tailed fox as well, and about Naruto's past, his parentage. It's very it's a lot to it's a lot to process, and I'm very curious as to see how all of this is going to play in the tournament arc coming up. So when we last left off, our Naruto's master, Ebisu, at least his temporary master, was taken out by a guy who turns out to be this man named Jiraiya, who was a sage. Actually, one of the three. There was a trio of ninja. Orochimaru was one of them, and Jiraiya was another. So he seems to be a very powerful ninja. And hilariously enough, he's also the guy who authored Makeout Paradise, which is the book Kakashi continually reads. So he is also a bit of a pervert, which is hilarious, and it seeks to balance out the immense power that I'm assuming this character holds. This person seems to be fully aware of Naruto's nine-tailed fox spirit dilemma, but he is also aware of what that entails for Naruto. It means that the reason Naruto has such an immense supply of chakra is because the nine-tailed fox's chakra acts as a very immense second supply of chakra for Naruto to tap into whenever he is in grave danger. So he tries to teach Naruto how to channel that chakra, and control it when he wants to, rather than when he is in immediate danger. And Naruto, in order to do this, they spend like almost the entire month in between the preliminaries and the final tournament part of the exam. They spend almost that entire month trying to get that right, and Naruto just is not able to tap into that chakra of his own free volition, which means Jiraiya actually goes to desperate measures and pushes Naruto into a canyon, to the point where Naruto actually like enters his own mind, sort of thing, where the nine-tailed fox is imprisoned, and he has to actually like talk to the nine-tailed fox spirit and say, "Hey, like, you've been squatting in my body for like the past 12 years. Mind paying rent and lending me some of your chakra?" And the nine-tailed fox is like, "Oh, fine." And Naruto actually, he's been practicing this summoning jutsu, but like the past 3 weeks he's been summoning like tadpoles. When he's trying to summon like a massive toad, he summons like, I forget what it's called, but it's like the king of all toads, and he's got like a lot of sass. He's like, "Do you wanna die?" But like apparently, this is another thing that came up. Naruto's father is actually the fourth Hokage. I don't know if this ever came up previously, but the fourth Hokage very much does resemble Naruto himself. So like and I've been told, by the way, that I kind of knew this already, that the fourth Hokage was Naruto's father. But I'm glad to see that we're actually digging into that a little bit. The third Hokage has previously retired, but after the fourth Hokage's death, he went back into business, basically. I don't know if we ever established that previously, but I know I haven't addressed it up to this point. So I don't remember if Naruto knows. It's kind of hard to keep track of this series, especially considering like these pages are very thin. I have a tendency to skip them sometimes, but like that's good to know, at least for me. And I'm very curious to see how this will play into the story if Naruto finds out. Once Naruto finds out what his legacy with the fourth Hokage was. The fourth Hokage was apparently the person who was last able to control that ultimate toad thing that Naruto ends up summoning. Um, and yeah, so I'm very curious to see how that's going to play out. We also learn a little more about Gara. He's a psycho. What else can I say? At one point, he attempts um, one of a sound ninja, the one who moved on to the next portion of the tournament, actually attempts to attack Gara in the middle of the night. That was a mistake. Gara killed him. Gara kills him like it's not even shown. He just mercilessly like demolishes him, which like I think it's fair. It the I feel like the tournament was a little imbalanced anyway. Shikamaru would have had to fight an extra battle in order to progress through the tournament, but now we have 8 people in the tournament because one person died by Gaara's hand. Uh, but anyway, Gaara actually attempts to kill Rock Lee in his sleep, and he ends up failing because Shikamaru utilizes the shadow control jutsu on him, and Gaara actually reveals like what his past was. He's actually the son of the head of the Kage in the Sand Village, uh, which made him which he suscepted him. Is that the right word to use? Well, he made him undergo a lot of very harsh training, taught him a lot of very complex jutsus in order to mold him into this perfect weapon for the Sand Village. And he also sealed a beast inside of Gaara, similar to how Naruto has a beast sealed inside him. But and that made Gaara an outcast from his village because people are constantly going, he is a threat to our existence. We should not allow him to roam free. And now people are trying to assassinate him. Apparently, his own father is trying to assassinate him, and this has led him to the conclusion that he, you know, he is only allowed to live and love for himself, and everything else in the world exists to amplify that. In other words, he has to kill as many people as possible because that will make him love himself more. And I'm not entirely sure how he got to that conclusion, but it is interesting seeing someone who is very similar to Naruto in a lot of ways, except one which causes him to take a completely different path than Naruto. Gaara is an exceptional ninja. He's got a beast sealed inside of him that causes, the village to shun him and stuff. But while Naruto had Iruka to, pick him up and say, like, hey, you do have value. We do give you value as a ninja. Gaara has nobody, and that leads him on a completely different path than Naruto. It does make me very nervous when he's around, though. Because, someone so bloodthirsty and someone so powerful, he could just, go on a rampage at any moment, and, it kind of makes me nervous. Very much makes me nervous. Speaking of the Sand Village, we find out that the Sand Village is actually working with Orochimaru and the Sound Village in order to take down Konohagakure Village, which apparently these Chunin exams were the result of a treaty that allowed Konohagakure Village to take power. And the Sand Village is very much sick of it because they have not been getting a lot of work. So their only focus was training their individual ninja to be absolutely perfect. Excuse me, I have something in my throat. But their individual ninja are trained to the peak of excellence, as opposed to, Konohagakure Village training them en masse to work as a team. So, the Sand Village, that's why Gaara is so powerful, that's why Temari and Kankuro were all able to progress to the next portion of the tournament. They were all able to make it this far. So they're teaming up with the Sound Village in order to take down Konohagakure Village. My one question with all this is, what does Orochimaru gain from this? Is he, is he so tied to the Sound Village that he just wants them to grow and flourish without the power from without Konohagakure Village hogging all the power, basically? Or does he have some sort of what other ends is he looking for in this alliance? We know what the Sand Village is looking for, and we have an idea of what the Sound Village wants. I'm just not sure if Orochimaru's motives are aligned with both of those villages, or if he has his own motivations. So it's very interesting. The Konohagakure Village is very much aware of the threat. The Hokage is very much aware of this threat and the possibility of the villages allying against them, preparing for war, that kind of thing. And all of the Jonin are, they're on edge. So I'm very curious to see what goes down. Like, is this Chunin selection exam going to go down as planned? Is Orochimaru going to intervene? Is something going to happen? Like, anything could happen. This tournament, like, for all we know, might never finish. Of course, it would be a shame because there are a lot of fights that would define characters throughout the course of this tournament. So, um, another thing, so we haven't talked about Sasuke and Sakura. Sakura has a fairly small role. Sakura and Ino go to visit Rock Lee in his hospital bed because Rock Lee has just been pushing himself way too hard. He's no longer able to utilize one of his arms and one of his legs, so he has been trying to utilize what limbs he does have use of to move around and see Sakura, because it's in his nature. He doesn't give up, but he pushes himself too far and constantly collapses. Sakura, very sweet of her to bring him a single flower in order to, show her appreciation for his perseverance. Sasuke, on the other hand, has apparently gone missing. And I say apparently, but we basically know where Sasuke is. He's been training with Kakashi. He's been building his strength back up. So I'm very excited to see him again. Although it was hinted at that Gaara killed him. I don't think that's the case. I don't think Sasuke would go out that easily. I think he will return for the tournament in order to face Gaara in the second match. First up, we have the match with Neji versus Naruto. I am heavily rooting for Naruto in this one because I just don't like Neji, especially after the way he treated Hinata in the previous in the previous action sequence we saw him in. Speaking of Hinata, she has this cute moment with Naruto in which, and I'm really starting to. I saw this before, but like I'm really starting to really enjoy when the two of them are together because Naruto really does treat Hinata very differently than he treats everyone else. The two have such the two have this sort of special bond, and I'm starting to think they might end up together. I'm not sure, but like I'm starting to think that way. So yeah, most of this was taking place in the month between the tournament uh, and the preliminaries, which took place in the previous volumes. We started off we started off the tournament at the end of this volume with Neji facing off with Naruto. And everyone's like, "Oh, Neji's too powerful. Naruto is not going to win this." But I'm very curious. I'm thinking Naruto's going to win this. He's going to find a creative way to beat Neji because that's what justice is. So yeah. I'm very excited to see how this tournament turns out. I'm very excited to see how the relationship with the villages turns out. By the way, what happened to the other villages? Don't they have ninja too? Wouldn't they have sent their own Chunin into this exam? Or Genin, sorry. Wouldn't they have sent their own Genin into this exam, to prove their own, to try and prove themselves powerful enough to take on Konohagakure Village? I'm assuming that the Sand Village was the only one and the Sound Village were the only ones who sent whose ninja got this far. So I'm very curious to see if the other villages have alliances with the Sand Village or the Sound Village, or what their role is in this whole plot, or even if they have a role. We'll see. I'm very excited to see how this turns out. This was great build up, this entire volume, and I'm very, very, very excited to continue on to the tournament and see how things go down. All right, I'll see you for Volume 12.